Many of our people are using this word revolution loosely, without taking careful consideration what this word actually means and what its historic characteristics are. When you study the historic nature of revolutions, the motive of a revolution, the objective of a revolution, and the result of a revolution, and the methods used in a revolution, you may change words. You may devise another program. You may change your goal and you may change your mind.
My question today is about criminal justice reform. I work with people getting evicted, people that have been wrongfully incarcerated. You yourself have been a victim of wrongful persecution, right, for political reasons. I completely believe that. We've been now the thing that we know that there's something called the Civilian Review Board. A lot of the positions are appointed. I'm trying to get justice for Nolan Frell. He has a letter from the Conviction Integrity Unit saying that the charges against him are faulty.
Just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check, the same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control.
Curtis, yeah, he deserved to be nervous. Damn, show some courtesy, Curtis. Rewind it, DJ Curtis. You ain't 50-50 sent from BK. Curtis, yep, he deserved to be nervous. Curtis, damn, show some courtesy, Curtis. Don't worry about it. Show money now.
Were you ultimately able to prove your innocence, and how can we learn from that to make it easier for folks that are innocent?
I know you're gonna dig this.
New York City, it's DJ Elf 7.
In other parts of the country, local leaders begin to stir up our people at the grassroots level. This was never done by these Negroes whom you recognize of national stature. They controlled you, but they never incited you or excited you.
RAP is a grassroots organization led by formerly incarcerated people and impacted family members. RAP also sponsors two bills. One is the Fair Time and Parole Bill that says that when an individual goes before the parole board, they should be judged on the merit of who they are now as opposed to who they were 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Because we recognize that no matter what, the crime will never change. If it was ugly then, it will be ugly now. The only thing that can change and often do is the individual. So the individual should be recognized on who they are now. If the individual is not a current risk, then the individual should be given the opportunity to return to society, to unite with his family, and come back to the community. The second bill that we sponsor is the Elder Bill. This bill says that anybody 55 and older who's been in prison for 15 or more years, and this is the key, should be given the opportunity to go before the parole board to make their case for release. We're not saying release anybody. We're just saying give them this opportunity, and we hope that any politician, legislator, councilman, whatever, will join forces with us to get these bills across the threshold so we can bring more of our elders home. And I thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Can you share your website and the other ways that people can find your work?
It's easy to find. Well, RAP, we got an easy website. It's on www.rapcampaign.com. One other thing I would like to say that we're part of a coalition of 300 some organizations and coalitions called the People Campaign for Parole Justice, and we fight for parole justice in New York.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to actually cut to Otis Johnson.
Okay, my name is Otis Johnson. I got arrested in 1975 for a timber police officer. Police officer got shot at, and I got the description of a man with a tan jacket. Now, one tape says he's black, white, and Puerto Rican. He said, oh, they didn't say. He said, okay, we're going to put black, tan jacket. So I went to trial and I got found guilty of 25 life for timber and police officer. During my time in prison, I worked with Eddie Ellis, Johnny McLeod, Rasul, Khalil, that they claimed that killed Malcolm. that comes to prison, mainly the young people that come to prison, to stay out that yard, right? And to get programs like college, also education with GED, and get jobs like me. When I came there, I also started different programs. I went to college, got associate degrees, and all this. And then I built a program called Buddy System with Sister Mother Teresa, all right, for HIV and AIDS, all right. And they picked me up, else picked me up and helped me to better myself in prison. I got to go heal myself. I started a nonprofit organization called Health Human Development Organization that works with the homeless. We also do Tai Chi and meditation, all right, to a substitute for anger management program, which majority started in the late 70s, and also USEF is working with me too. His mother's also working with me too.
The same strategy that was used in those days is used today. He take a Negro, so-called Negro, and make him prominent, build him up, publicize him, make him a celebrity, and then he becomes a spokesman for Negro and a Negro leader. I would like to just mention one thing else quickly, and that is...
Once again, Dr. Linda was on the phone or on emails recently with Alvin Brand's people, right?
Yes.
Do you know why he didn't show up?
Well, they wanted detailed information about the format and the structure and all that. I just think that, they don't care about regular people like us.
They were interested when they heard that marriage people were coming though, right?
They heard, but, I cannot explain why.
My existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. You can't handle the truth. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline.
We also work with Exodus, which I do now. Work with Fortune Society, which I do now. I work a little bit with rap, and the brother that passed away, rap, wrongfully, all right. And I also work with Broken New York.
Well, do you have something you want to ask the district attorney candidates? Go ahead. What would you want to ask?
What I see is a lot of people are taking cases of people coming out of prison, right? But the average person that come out of prison, you may notice that they have families. See, now people like me don't have nobody after doing 42 years in prison, right? Or 25 to life, or like I say, 40-something years in prison. Don't have no family, all right? So it's hard for us to get a pro bono a lawyer. So this is what I need right now, like I started before. I need to reopen my case with a 440 Not only that, but I had proof that they had 2 weapons, all right? And the first weapon was a Pearl Handle gun, all right? The second was a black 22 gun, all right? So how you have 2 guns, all right? And only one gun was used in the crime. But no one found the weapon on me, a weapon on me. So what I'm trying to do now is get my minutes. They never gave me my arraignment minutes, and that's a big part of the crime that you get arrested for is the arraignment minutes. That's very important, and that will definitely help me get a reversal or get the charge dismissed and clear my name. And they also had witnesses. They had 9 witnesses that they gave the district attorney said they was at the scene. The court judge or two witnesses said that I'm not the person of the crime. And they told the two person that came in that was you, said, get out the court. They kicked him out the court. I went to trial also with 9 juries. You're supposed to have 12.
So, do you think you guys could reopen the case?
I don't know enough about criminal justice to say whether that's something she could do if elected. What I can tell you is that after spending 22 years as a public defender, Maud's entire legal career was oriented around protecting people's constitutional rights and trying to protect them when they were brought to trial and couldn't get proper representation. So I know she's committed to transparency coming out of the district attorney's office, to doing things the right way, bringing that public defender's mindset into the district attorney's office, while also recognizing that they're equal partners in making sure justice gets done, that you need good faith prosecutors and good faith defenders. I think that Mr. Johnson brings up some really key points in terms of making sure that we've got these organizations that are advocating for prisoners that don't have families and connections on the outside, and that it's good that we have more organizations oriented around that today. And I think a lot of these issues that he brought up during his case that have to do with issues with discovery and evidence are a large part of why there was such a clamoring to bring changes on those laws. Our opinion is that the changes have gone a little bit too far, and that they're strict in that the timeline, that the level of evidence has to get distributed. It's been very difficult for folks to even bring cases, but it was changes that needed to be looked at and pursued, because there were a lot of cases where discovery issues happened. And so finding that balance is something she's committed to. You don't fake 22 years as a public defender, so I can't make a commitment that she would be able to open a case, but I know that she is committed to transparency and respecting people's constitutional rights when it comes to being a district attorney.
They should have lawyers for these people from Jump Street, and not these lawyers, right? Not these lawyers that are paid by them, that work for them. If you're gonna have lawyers for us, and I'm gonna say us, then they should be for us, right? And I think that's the biggest crime. The biggest crime is that you give us lawyers, right, that really don't represent us, represent y'all. And that's where it starts. So the district attorney's office ought to create an entity that's for the people and not affiliated, okay, with y'all that way. There has to be a part for the people and a part for y'all. But that has to be discussed. That has to become a legislation. We have to have real lawyers for people, not fake lawyers that work for both sides. That you can't do that. You can't serve two guys. And the district attorney's office, which gets, first of all, we vote you in. We're the ones that vote you in. Okay? So you owe us. You owe us to have the best attorneys for us. Period. When we get in trouble. No matter what the crime is. Because look at all these people getting convicted of stuff that they didn't do. And spending all that time. And you're not worried about just the person that got arrested. You're arresting that whole family. The mother, the father, the granddaughter, the kids. Y'all gotta do better than that. The district attorney's office has to start working for the people.
What would it look like to make lawyers more real, as you described it?
More real, that they work for the people. There has to be people's lawyers. There have to be people's lawyers, right? There have to be people's lawyers that are not getting paid by the district attorney's office. There has to be a creation, a fund or something created that separates There has to be some type of separation. If the district attorney's office can make an entity, right? An entity for lawyers, for people that are not getting paid by that, but a fund that is created just for us.
Can I ask, when you speak about lawyers in the district attorney, I'm confused. Are you saying that some of the prosecutors need to be for the people, or are you saying like the public defenders?
Public defenders.
All right, here's the thing. The public defender's office is separate from the district attorney's office. That falls under the Bar Association. Everybody that comes out of law school, they have to dedicate a certain amount of time for pro bono work. That argument there literally is like Bar Association. The whole account is codes of conduct that literally has to be maintained, that a lot of people are not, how can I say, privileged to. I can tell you personally, right? You know, I deal with a lot of law enforcement aspects of it, especially when it comes down to certain crimes and everything. A lot of these lawyers, they come out of law school, they don't really know the law.
Exactly.
Right? But here's the thing. We as people that get in trouble, we don't know the law. We just regurgitate what we think, what we feel. And a lot of them go into these cases with people with more experience. I can tell you that personally because I do a lot of pro se litigation. I do a lot of civil litigation, and I have maybe about 15 attorneys that's willing to give me letters of recommendation for law school. Because, you know, when we go to court, like, they deal with traditional, I deal with non-traditional, but I utilize the law. They don't really know the laws. You know, they're saying,
and that's why they give it to you.
Hold on a second.
That's exactly why they give you those lawyers.
But you know the saying where they say, don't get a lawyer that specializes in traffic tickets to argue. And that's what you're gonna get. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not the prosecutor that gives the lawyers. It's literally the county and the bar association that assigns them. That's the issue. The issue should be more or less when you have these elections, and it's something that I always say, they hire the judges that's running for these seats. Mm-hmm. So you'll never speak to the judges who's responsible for maintaining, you know, fairness. You know, that's not our role. You know, as far as people, attorneys, that's not our role. That's literally your lawmakers, your judges, because they got to make sure that these lawyers are competent. And that's what we see in cases. We find out that a lot of these lawyers are not competent, and they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Let me introduce myself. I'm a candidate for mayor. I'm a former employee of the United Nations for 20 years here in New York City and abroad. And I have dealt with issues like this, and I live in 5 continents. I am telling you, as an American, unfortunately and sadly, we have, if not one of the worst judicial systems in the world, maybe the worst. First, let's start with this. We have great people here trying to improve and reform our judicial system. I appreciate that, I applaud them, especially people who have been hurt, who have been deprived of their freedom, of their privacy, of their life. But we are just changing the bandage. We are not curing the injury. I'm gonna give you just an example. I'm an Andalusian American. Portugal, the longest sentence for any crime, you can imagine any crime on this planet, is 20 years. No life sentence, because this is it. If someone spends 20 years in the worst crime on this world in prison, and he or she cannot change to be a good person, that there is a problem with the system. There is a problem with the governance. We don't have that. This is one. The second, I'm going to try to be quick. We elect judges. I have never seen this. Where I come from, to be a judge, you have to be, I have said this, I'm a refugee, saying you have to be a prophet or an astronaut. The best in everything. With integrity, with loyalty. And there are, in third world countries, right now as we speak, places where judges are trained before they go to court. because it's a matter of life, honor, and dignity. I have seen cases, and I'm really honored to be here today to be face to face with someone who has been. I've cried on front of TV when I heard situations in America. But people, somebody enters to jail at the age of 20, comes at the age of 60. God, even if you give him or her the fortune of the world, they cannot cure their pain, even the pain they have inside. So first of all, we have to advocate for getting judges to be recruited and to go through exams and processes as other countries in the world. This is one. Second, we have a bunch of people who know each other. The clerk becomes a lawyer, then becomes a judge. Then when you have a case, you are convicted, sir, you must have had a lawyer. So all of them, they're friends, they go to the same bar, they drink the same beer.
Hello.
This is it. And then if you go by yourself as a process, they will say hire a lawyer, because that lawyer whom you hire will not serve your innocence, will not aim for your innocence, will not serve your benefit, go for your benefit. They have to make a deal. So judicial system in America is a business. It scares me. It scares me. I am a citizen, American citizen. I have a husband, I will have children, and it scares me. And we can do a search where you can start from to bring your dignity back. And at least they have to pay you some compensation for the harm they have done to you.
Well, that was very powerful. Thank you for that.
Sure, my pleasure.
Definitely share the sentiment, and I hear the passion, and believe me, I have been organizing in my community for different things, and criminal justice is fun.
Yeah, indeed.
You have a right to your own freedom, especially if you didn't commit any crime. You know, like our system is very and it's actually must be that.
Not our system, it's our elected system. All right, it's the people that are running this country.
Exactly. Okay, but our elected officials, we put them there. We vote for them. We need to get to know. We really need someone that elects people that work for the people, not that they work for the billionaires and the PAC, and they have all these different people that are just they just want to hear. Oh, it's okay. We'll cover that later. People are suffering now.
Yeah.
Why can't we do things now? That I don't understand.
People talk a good game when they running. People talk a good game all the time. But to be on the ground like we are, always, this one, my baby right here. We've been together for years. Sitting on the ground, walking in the ground. I come from East Harlem and Boston. I was born on 115th Street. I go back over there all the time. East Harlem is a mess. They got a whole bunch of crazy people running for office. Then we still have a lot of crazy people in office. When it's you and you and you and even you that should be running for office. You know why? Because we're doing the work. Been there, done that. We help everyone get into office, and then when they get in office, they give us our back. There is no way that a city council person, an assembly person, a senator, and a congressman cannot help you. There's no way, if you vote, there's no way they should do that.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Peace and blessings. Black Power. I am here representing the United African Movement. I am grassroots on the ground, trying to work to free all political prisoners and all our, what's the call? Free them all. Okay? So we must have an immediate criminal justice reform. If we do that, it will settle everything in our community. It will help everyone in the community. We have the seniors dying in the jail, in the belly of the beast. You know, we have to, this is a call to action. We have to get excited about this and we have to demand this. Don't ask for my vote if you're gonna let these seasoned veterans die in prison. Don't ask me for anything. You know, we have to get angry about it. And we have to really, stop prostituting ourselves and giving our vote.
That's it.
To people that don't deserve it. My name is Dr. Linda, and you can call me on my phone. I'm public. I ran for public office, Assemblywoman, City Council. I'm public. I'm not hiding from anybody. I'm an open book. But, my number is 646-234-1500. Don't ask for my vote. You can't protect the seniors. You can't protect the children.
Alright, so check it out. My name is DJ L7. I'm actually here today to talk about how actually the Black community and the Asian community is being weaponized against each other and it's happening. Now, you know, right here, I have a picture of Adams giving Puff Daddy a key to the city. Because unfortunately, there's gatekeepers that are deciding that certain people's voices get heard, certain issues get addressed, and don't. This is not my first year trying to help Otis Johnson get his issue addressed. A lot of people are saying, I can't believe this is so crazy. What you won't believe, we did the same thing again last year, but nothing really before. We took it directly to Kamala Harris's office. Now, unfortunately, the civil rights movement of today has actually, they used to be really close to the anti-war movement. But nowadays, the civil rights movement has kind of moved away from the anti-war movement. And right now, they actually have people in the anti-war movement that have never been victims of wars, like having reparations against people that are actually Black people. And they're actually stealing from us. And how is this impacting Black people? How is it being weaponized against each other? So the thing is that they'll have actually certain groups up there, right, that have faced, and they actually use a lot for this, right? And actually, I look out for them a lot. And they're right to be frustrated and not being heard, but the anti-war issue, right, versus war victims, a lot of these gatekeepers are using them. Once again, they are not heard enough, and that's true. But in the anti-war movement, if not war victims, it doesn't make sense. They're being used. Now the thing is that right now there's certain people, and I gave you guys all a sheet right here. When I say that they're erecting fakes, let's talk about this. Is actually the leader of something called the Legal Aid Society. I'm not saying Legal Aid Society is all bad or all good, but the fact that we did a QR code will show you who their sponsors are. And the fact of the matter is that they're inside public housing, putting a flyer on everybody's door saying we're going to help you get evicted. But you can see that their donors are actually all the largest real estate developers in the community. So they have, who's going to pay for the free legal help that you're going to get over your opposition, right? They have mixed incentives. So she's being put into place. There's a guy named Chris Bay, who's a former sister. Now you see this news article right here. Possibly misconduct relates to prompt deposition of acting DA. Just because Letitia James is also wrapped up in this, both Melissa Katz and Letitia James have been found by a federal court who have been covering for prosecutorial abuses. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. The fact of the matter is that they're the largest city in the nation, 8.5 million. To be here, you got to be a superstar. By the way, Carmen Quinos is a superstar, the most well-known public housing, and associate president in all public housing. A large city. But if you want to be a DA here in the city, you can't be just a regular lawyer. You got to have a conviction rate that's amazing. That's superhuman. And how do you achieve these numbers? Well, they might have to withhold some evidence, right? That's actually again, this article right here, on this article shows that there was a district attorney named John Ryan. He actually had to step down because his office was known to actually be conducting, and they even had a name for it. They called it China Wall. What did Chinese people have to do with any of this? They called it the term, and these lawyers, right, this assistant district attorney, his name is Chris Bay. He ran for office before. He's a South to be the Korean American actress that you know, right? And then later on, they're going to say, look, Korean Americans victimized. And I emailed Chris Bay, and I'm not saying he's all bad. I said, if you're involved, do something about it now. It's your duty. As someone who worked at this institute, who was working in their office for 7 years, I believe. You had to see what was going on. They called the China Wall. Come on, dude. Now, right, people make mistakes, but now it's a responsibility to help people like Otis, right? None of the people at Columbia University is looking to his case. A lot of people are backing up on this stuff. I think it's worth revisiting. come to your office before, first of all, I saw it. I went to, and I'll show actually a video, Asian American Bar Association. I contacted them, no response. This lady, no response. It's not just Asian Americans, by the way, right? Harold Ferguson at the Legal Aid Society also is voted for being doing wrongful convictions cases. Hasn't really responded. There's something called the Asian American curriculum, and right now, if you think any black people helped work on the Asian American curriculum, well, white people did, and actually the history has been altered. I understand when black people say, you know what, it's not our business to go and meddle in other people's affairs, but if you're not actually paying attention to what's going on, then our actually meetings will be aimed at one another. And they're putting people in place. If you do not celebrate and actually also lift up the work of Asian Americans that are working to address issues together, right? Then the things are going to win. That's serious, yeah? And right now you have a Latino once again, this is actually Puerto Rican, right? Yeah, proud Puerto Rican. There you go, right? Yeah. Just so you know, there's a lot of numbers that are also adulterated, right? So Asian American Pacific Islanders, Pacific Islanders are incarcerated rate higher than Latinos. So they choose the Asian Americans for some numbers, and they choose the Pacific Islanders for other numbers, and they just try to make up a feature that says that does not acknowledge your pain or your suffering. So because I'm not going to get addressed for my own issues, I've teamed up with powerful allies in public housing, wrongful incarceration. We come back here, this is not our first year. There's a lot of fake solutions that are being pushed out there, such as they're putting their, not anti-white here, but there's a lot of pretty white people that are actually working with not-for-profits that are, getting six-figure salaries, and nothing is changing. And they're not actually giving power once again. I want to shout to my friends from Chicago, prison votes matter. We have to engage, we have to mobilize. People like you have to get registered to vote. Everybody has to know that actually a company is phenomenal getting her people out to vote.
I got voter registration forms, so I ain't gotta leave without one.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I'll make sure.
But you can't rely on candidates, we're going to keep working together. So, thanks again.
Today is actually the last day to register.
We're also hoping for a civilian review board for actually, unfortunately, the problem is that cops this, like a lot of socialists start to say, and they mess up the accountable, we should be celebrated. So the fact of the matter is that the civilian review board, of course, is all and we're trying to get that addressed as well. So thanks again to a lot of American people for showing up. Albert Bragg, we really would how to show up, but I guess.
But I had a question for him.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Because the question is if you said that USEF is helping you, right? So what is he helping you with? Because why? He's a city councilman and he has a lot of pull because of what he's done, right? Why can't he get these records to you now? Is my question. So there's no ifs and ands and buts about that. He can do that. They ain't gonna mess with him. Trust me. When I tell you, if you need that paperwork, he can get that paperwork like that. So I don't want to hear all that. That's that noise again. So I need you to tell USEF to get your paperwork. Like that, we know where people stand. See, I have a problem with people, I've been under like official state committee, I've done all of them, okay? I've been there, done that. I've read, I'm chief of staff for a They already in office, they can get this paperwork and get these things done. Okay? As a city councilman, he has Albert Bragg right there. The district attorney right there. He got all these people right here. Yesterday I went to Charlie Rango's wake. I was sitting around everybody. He was Bill Clear. Second row with everybody. When you want something, you can get it. If they really want to help you, they will do it. There is a way to get this done, especially when they're already in the elected office. Okay? If he tells you, oh, I'm having a little, at least tell me something. Tell me at least you tried. Now, how long ago was it that you spoke with him?
Last time we spoke.
About what?
3 weeks ago I spoke.
About 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's going on a month and nothing yet, right? That's that bullshit ass again.
Right.
And you tell the Carmen said so.